What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. So, if you've ever purchased a jersey on AliExpress for around 15 to 20 bucks, for all my broke college students, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So, if you've ever used AliExpress, you've paid money to the company Alibaba. What is Alibaba? Alibaba is a company that connects small businesses in China with consumers around the world. So let's take a quick look at Alibaba's financials. Alibaba, stock ticker BABA, currently is priced at $188 with a 52-week high of 211 and a 52-week low of 127. Alibaba currently has a P/E ratio of 47.41%. I know that's high compared to what I said earlier. I was saying that a normal P/E ratio is anywhere between 10 and 20. But when we look at Alibaba's growth numbers, we'll see that this is not really a crazy P/E ratio. And then they have a future forward P/E ratio of 28, which is actually really low considering the amount of growth that they are experiencing right now. So let's take a quick look at this growth. Alibaba. In 2018, in the trailing 12 months of 2018, their revenue increased by 73.51%. That's insane. If we compare that to a company like Amazon, Amazon's growing at a rapid pace, but Amazon is only growing at 30% over the trailing 12 months. So if you compare Alibaba's growth to a company like Amazon, you see that this growth is really something special. So when we look at this growth and then we look at Alibaba's market capitalization, we see that they have a $485 billion market capitalization. That's crazy. Two companies, Apple and Amazon, are both at $1 trillion now, and Alibaba is already halfway there, guys. That's crazy. So again, the growth numbers are crazy. If we look at 2017, they grew at 46%. 2017, they grew at 46%. 2016, they grew at 27%. And let's keep in mind that the Chinese GDP is currently growing at 6% as well, compared to the 2.3% range that the United States is in. So if you look at Alibaba and the market that they're currently operating in, there's still a lot of growth potential to be had, okay? GDP per capita in the United States is $58,000. Let's compare that to China. China's GDP per capita is still around $10,000 per person. But with that said, the Chinese economy is expanding rapidly and the middle class in China is growing rapidly as well. So to meet the consumer demands of the Chinese middle class, a lot of them are going to start turning to Alibaba for consumer goods. So while everything with Alibaba is great as far as the growth numbers, as far as the price for what you're getting and all that stuff looks great, it's important for us as investors to still understand Alibaba as a company before we start even considering throwing money at this. So if we come over here, we'll go back to the basics, identifying our circle of competence. So we look at Alibaba. What does Alibaba do? Alibaba services small business. They have started servicing some larger businesses, and they're actually looking to the United States to have some of the businesses in the United States actually get on AliExpress and send goods to the Chinese middle class. So if you're a tomato farmer in California and people in California aren't buying your tomatoes or your tomato-based product, you could actually send that to the middle class in China who are looking for more affordable products or just different types of food. So that's kind of their business model, and then we look at their competitive advantage. What does Alibaba do that other companies don't do? Excuse me. So AliExpress, as I mentioned earlier, is their website. They also have Tmall and another online service that cater to Asian markets. So we use AliExpress. AliExpress is in English. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but when you go on AliExpress, even though it's a Chinese company, the website is built for American consumers. That is not by accident. Alibaba put a lot of work, a lot of research and development into creating a platform that American consumers would feel comfortable buying these jerseys off of, despite the fact that if you look at this Adidas logo, you'll see that this is clearly a fake jersey. But as an American consumer, I still felt comfortable going ahead and purchasing this jersey. So be on the lookout for that. So again, competitive advantage, AliExpress. They also have Alipay. Alipay is like the Google slash PayPal slash Apple Pay in America. A lot of Chinese consumers use Alipay on their phones to pay for goods and services. It's a really popular payment platform, and they have a lot of users on that. And they are also a 30% owner of Ant Financial, which is a company that provides loans for a lot of middle class and even some upper class people in China currently. Again, the Chinese economy is relatively new. They started growing at a rapid pace recently, and the Chinese stock market has only been in operation since 1990. So the idea of loaning money to start businesses and do things of that nature is still relatively new for Chinese people. So Ant Financial is really making big waves in the Chinese financial market by opening up this service to people. And then finally, Alibaba also has a cloud service. This is really big. Again, this is kind of like Amazon AWS, their web services and things of that nature, where they're providing troubleshooting and software for companies online so that they can connect with consumers online, because a lot of transactions and a lot of consumption is being done online now. People are no longer going to the mall for 12 hours and buying goods. People go to the mall for 6 hours, and the other 6 hours they shop online. So they're trying to help companies reach out to these consumers through the internet. Cool. So part 3, you want to look at management. You want to have a CEO you trust. So the person who founded Alibaba is Jack Ma. And if you look at if you listen to any interviews Jack Ma has done, you really see that this guy has a vision that goes just beyond the next year. This guy is looking into the future for his country and for his company. He's looking at the 5-year picture. He's looking at the 10-year picture. Alibaba could be bringing in a lot more as far as revenue goes. Their earnings per share right now is only at 1.58, which is really small compared to a company like Amazon. But again, Alibaba is continuing to reinvest their profit into growing Alipay, into growing their cloud service, because they want to be able to survive in the long term. So again, Jack Ma has a great vision for this. He's no longer the CEO, but his vision remains and has been instilled in the company. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of did something like how Steve Jobs did, and kind of how Steve Jobs left Apple and came back. I would not be surprised if we saw Jack Ma back at AliExpress at some point in the future. So finally, if you're going to go ahead and buy Alibaba, you feel like you understand the business. You also feel like you understand the Chinese economy, because that's important. Again, as I stated earlier, the Chinese stock market has only been open since 1990. So investors in China have yet to really build generational wealth through the stock market like Americans have. The New York Stock Exchange has been open since 1817. So that's almost over 200 years now of American investors investing into the stock market. And so that's one of the reasons why Alibaba has actually really pushed heavy into entering into the financial markets in the United States, because United States investors are a lot more active, and they're a lot more excited to get into companies with high growth numbers such as Alibaba, versus Chinese investors feel more comfortable investing in real estate. And China's actually the world leader in saving as well. They save at a rate that's almost double any other country in the world. So in addition to Chinese investors not really comfortable with investing in the stock market yet, they also just like to save their money and kind of put it underneath the mattress. So again, I think that'll change some as the culture around Chinese business changes, and as their GDP continues to grow and that middle class continues to grow. But at the moment, they don't have that culture built up yet, and they're working on doing that now. So anyways, you want to buy Alibaba at an attractive price. Right now it's at $188 dollars. And so if we go back and look here, we look at its 52-week high, 52-week low. But I think the most important thing is this P ratio at 47. So again, I said that 10 to 20 was the normal range. But when you consider that a company is growing at over 50% for 2 years now, and they're looking to increase that number, buying a company at a 47 P ratio is really not that expensive when you compare that to Amazon's 63 P ratio now with a 90 future P ratio. So when you compare the two companies and you look at the amount of room that Alibaba has to grow, the Chinese population is 1.3 billion people. The United States only has 300 million people. You start to see how Alibaba could really blow up within the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, you should not buy or sell stock based solely off what you hear on this page. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. And congrats to the Who's for winning the 2019 March Madness tournament. Godspeed.